Hi, I'm Scott Mason. I'm president of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship in Athens, Georgia. I want to talk to you today about our upcoming annual meeting, which is going to be May 16th, right after the service. That's Sunday, May 16th at noon after the service. It's really important that our congregation turn out for this because this is in particular an important meeting for us for the future. And so I need your attendance and attention to this. And you have some work to do before the meeting. So I want to lay that out for you. All right, so what are we going to vote on? Well, the first thing that we're going to vote on is what's called a consent agenda. And the consent agenda is approves the minutes of the previous meeting. That would be in 2020's minutes. And it approves the agenda that we're using for the 2021 meeting, the one on Sunday, the 16th. It's a yes, no vote. That's what that is. Now, what else are we going to do? The first thing that we're going to do is vote on the Board of Trustees. The Board of Trustees will consist of 6 people, new people. Vivian Sellers will be the president for 21-22. Lyndall Tunnel is taking a 2-year term as treasurer. Thrain Jensen is leaving that position after 4 years of service. Karen Solheim is accepting a 1-year term as secretary as Michelle Swagler leaves that position. And we are electing Iva King, Sarah Cook, and Bob Teskey as members at large. Bob's term will only be 1 year because he's taking over for Lyndall Tunnel. Cleela Reed, Susan Curtis, and Marco Masori are continuing on the board. For nominating committee, we have 2 members being elected, Kelly Simonson, Jane Cobras, and Melissa Famey and Carol Stanley will continue on the nominating committee. I cannot tell you how important a good nominating committee is. And I know the one for this year worked very hard. And these people will, I'm sure, give us excellent candidates for the future. The next thing that we'll do is the presentation of the fiscal budget for 21-22 by Thrain Jensen. This is one of the last things that he does as our treasurer. He's been on the job for 4 years. It has been a joy to work with him. And the budget is looking particularly good. So he will present the budget quickly. You can go look over the budget from our website. So you don't need to wait until the day of to see the budget. The next thing that we're going to vote on is granting emeritus status to the Reverend Allison Wilbur Eskildson. I think if you've been here more than a year, you remember Allison. We had planned on her departure to have parties, festivals, meetings, dinners, all kinds of things. That did not happen because COVID-19 pretty well knocked it into a cocked hat. So I think that this is a particularly important thing to do. The motion by the Board of Trustees is that in recognition of her decade of meritorious service and leadership of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Athens, Georgia, the congregation awards Reverend Allison Wilbur Eskildson the status of Minister Emerita. This can only be proposed by the board, and it must be voted on by the congregation. Once the status is achieved, her name goes on our letterhead as a Minister Emerita. Her name is submitted to the UUA as being associated with our congregation. She is granted by UUA the ability to attend all of the annual meetings of the UUA and to vote at them. And she can attend certain events at our congregation that are appropriate for a prior minister. Next thing, very important, the search committee's candidates. Look at this list. Look at this list. These are 13 people who have agreed to be nominated for the search committee. Only 7 can be elected. 7 people out of this 13. Look at the power that we have here. We're looking for a balance. We're looking for a committee that will present to a settled minister candidate an overall picture of our congregation. So keep that in mind as you vote. Again, you can only vote for 7. Now you can vote for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, but do not vote for more than 7 or your ballot cannot be counted because we wouldn't know whom to eliminate from it. 7 people out of those 13 will be elected. And those include Lisa Brown, Tracy Brown, Lee Cornell and Todd Dinkelman, Mark Hodges, Jim Marshall, Alita Mendenhall-Turner, John Olive, Jackie Pearson, Lee Reed, Julie Sapp, Barb Schell, and Paul Van Valkenburg. Their pictures and their curriculum vitae, their background, is all posted from the website. So you can go to the website and find it. If you cannot find it and read it, then you should ask Shay Gambrell to point you to it. And again, call the fellowship, and her extension number is 5. Then finally, we roll into the bylaws revisions. Now, the bylaws committee has divided these into 8 changes that we'll be making, and I'll give you a quick précis, very quick précis of what each one is so that you get an idea. Again, you need to go to the website and read over what these changes are and consider them. But we are asking you to approve all of them. The first one is the method of voting. It approves electronic voting, which we've come to and will continue in the future. We've learned to do it, and it's certainly more convenient than everybody having to be at the fellowship to vote. So that method of voting will be approved by Amendment 1. We'll also retain voting at the meeting, and we'll retain voting absentee ballots. So there'll be 3 ways that you can vote. Motion number 2, Amendment 2, is makes changes to the youth membership and encourages the youth to be members of the congregation. The third motion staggers the terms of treasurer and secretary. It's a little hard on the board when both leave at the same time. So that's why we need this kind of a motion. The fourth one is the election of the Committee on Shared Ministry. That has been in the past appointed by the board. It is a committee that really reports to the congregation, and therefore the congregation should elect the Committee on Shared Ministry. 5, 6, and 7 are technical changes, comma changes here, capitalization corrections there, punctuation here. So each of those 3 are technical changes that need to be approved by the congregation. And the 8th one is a change in the bylaws so that the board can make these non-substantive changes in the future and not have to wait until the congregation can approve them. Again, I want to encourage you to prepare yourself in advance for all of these votes. I want you to, if you are voting absentee, I want you to get your ballot into the congregation. Shoot for Thursday, because you know how the post office is. We need them there in advance of Sunday. If they arrive Monday or Tuesday after the service, they won't be counted. If you're attending the meeting, you want to get your vote in that day, that Sunday the 16th, by 6 o'clock, because that's when we'll begin counting ballots. I think that's it. We're done. And I think the meeting will go just as smoothly and quickly as that did. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the 16th. I hope that you are pleased and happy with the candidates. I hope that you are pleased and happy with the budget that we'll be presenting. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on the 16th. You have a good day, or even a great one.